The worlds of technology and politics are often driven by powerful personalities. Two of the most prominent figures of our time are Elon Musk, the visionary behind Tesla and SpaceX, and Donald Trump, the 47th President of the United States. For a time, these two titans found common ground, forming a powerful and unexpected alliance. Musk had been a crucial supporter during Trump's successful 2024 presidential campaign, contributing a substantial sum of nearly $290 million to aid the effort. This support earned him a special position within the White House, where he was tasked with leading a new Department of Government Efficiency, a role he held until his departure on May 30, 2025. Their partnership seemed to signal a new era of collaboration between Silicon Valley innovation and Washington's political machine. This alliance, however, proved to be incredibly fragile. What once looked like a solid partnership built on mutual interests quickly devolved into a public and bitter confrontation. The first signs of a major crack appeared in early June 2025, just days after Musk left his government role. The catalyst was a piece of legislation central to President Trump's domestic agenda. Musk, never one to shy away from expressing his opinions, took to his social media platform, X, to launch a blistering attack on the bill. He did not mince words, calling the proposed law a disgusting abomination that was filled with wasteful spending. This public condemnation from a recent high-profile ally was a direct challenge to the president's authority and policy. The fallout was immediate and explosive, marking the beginning of a fierce public feud. The argument wasn't just a simple policy disagreement, it was a personal and political battle fought in the open for everyone to see. Trump, feeling betrayed by his former confidant, responded with his own series of attacks on his platform, Truth Social. The dispute rapidly escalated from a debate over legislative details into a deeply personal conflict. This sudden and dramatic break between two of the most influential men in the country captured the public's attention, leaving many to wonder how a relationship that seemed so beneficial to both sides could collapse so spectacularly and so quickly. The history of their relationship provides important context for this dramatic turn of events. Musk's financial backing was seen as a key factor in Trump's 2024 victory, and his subsequent role in the administration was meant to bring a business-like efficiency to the government. Musk had even pledged an additional $100 million to support Republican candidates in the upcoming 2026 midterm elections, a commitment that was now suddenly in serious doubt. The very foundation of their alliance, built on financial support and shared goals of disrupting established norms, had been shattered. The public was now witnessing the messy and unpredictable consequences of this high-stakes breakup. The core of the disagreement between Elon Musk and Donald Trump was a massive piece of legislation championed by the president, which he had titled the Big Beautiful Bill. For Trump, this bill was the cornerstone of his second term's domestic policy. For Musk, it represented a direct threat to the business empire he had meticulously built over decades. Musk's primary objection was fiscal. He argued that the bill's enormous spending provisions would irresponsibly add trillions of dollars to the national deficit. He saw it not as a path to prosperity, but as a reckless accumulation of debt that would burden the country for years to come. This was the public face of his opposition. Beneath the surface of fiscal responsibility, however, were specific provisions that struck at the heart of Musk's corporate interests. The bill proposed the complete elimination of the $7,500 tax credit for electric vehicles, a crucial incentive that had helped make Tesla cars more affordable for millions of Americans. It also aimed to phase out federal subsidies for the construction of new battery factories and terminate government support for the expansion of the EV charging station network across the country. These measures were not just minor policy tweaks. They were a direct assault on the economic model that had propelled Tesla to become the world's leading electric vehicle manufacturer, a company heavily reliant on these government-backed programs. Beyond the electric vehicle sector, Musk also took issue with another key aspect of Trump's economic policy: tariffs. Musk had become an increasingly vocal critic of the president's protectionist trade measures. On June 5, 2025, he posted a stark warning on X, stating, "The Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year." This public declaration directly contradicted the president's narrative that tariffs were protecting American jobs and industries. Musk's stance positioned him as an opponent of the administration's core economic philosophy, suggesting that the president's policies were not only bad for his own companies, but also detrimental to the entire U.S. economy. The Big Beautiful Bill was therefore the perfect storm for this conflict. It combined what Musk saw as irresponsible government spending with targeted attacks on the green energy incentives that supported his businesses. Tesla's own financial reports from the first quarter of 2025 revealed just how dependent the company was on these programs. It had reported a net profit of $409 million. but its sales of government-mandated clean air credits alone amounted to $595 million. This meant that without these regulatory credits, the company would not have been profitable. Trump's bill threatened to pull the rug out from under Tesla, turning a policy disagreement into an existential business threat for Musk. President Trump did not take Musk's criticism lightly. Feeling publicly betrayed, he retaliated with a ferocity that has become his trademark. He expressed his deep disappointment and accused Musk of having Trump derangement syndrome, a term he often uses for his most ardent critics. But his response went far beyond personal insults. Trump threatened to use the full power of the presidency against Musk's corporate empire. He announced that he was considering the termination of all federal government contracts with Musk's companies, including SpaceX and Tesla. These contracts, which amounted to approximately $3 billion in 2024, were a significant source of revenue and prestige for Musk. Elon Musk, a master of public spectacle in his own right, fired back with his own arsenal of threats and accusations. He reminded the public of his significant financial contributions to Trump's 2024 campaign, implying that the president owed his victory to him. He then escalated the conflict by suggesting he might form a new political party and threatened to fund primary challengers against any Republican politicians who voted in favor of the big beautiful bill. Musk also waded into more dangerous territory, publicly agreeing with social media posts that called for Trump's impeachment. He even amplified unsubstantiated claims that Trump was named in unreleased documents related to the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, prompting calls from Democrats for their release. The most dramatic threat from Musk involved his crown jewel, SpaceX. In response to Trump's threat to cut off government contracts, Musk briefly suggested he might decommission the Dragon spacecraft. This was no small threat. SpaceX was NASA's only reliable method for transporting astronauts and cargo to the International Space Station, making the Dragon capsule a critical piece of national infrastructure. While Musk quickly walked back this statement after a public outcry, the mere suggestion sent shockwaves through the aerospace and defense communities. It demonstrated how far Musk was willing to go and how intertwined his private companies had become with the essential functions of the U.S. government. The financial markets reacted to this public war with immediate panic. On June 5, 2025, the day the feud exploded, Tesla's stock, TSLA, plummeted by nearly 15%, wiping out an astonishing $150 billion in market value in a single day, one of the largest single-day losses for any company in history. This collapse in stock price delivered a massive blow to Musk's personal fortune, causing his net worth to drop by $34 billion. Trump's own company, Trump Media and Technology Group DJT, was not immune to the chaos, with its stock falling by 8%. The battle between these two powerful men was not just a war of words, it was a conflict that had immediate and severe consequences for investors and the wider market. The public feud between Elon Musk and Donald Trump sent deep tremors through the Republican Party, forcing politicians to choose sides between their president and one of the nation's most influential business leaders. The party was visibly divided. Staunch Trump allies like Vice President J.D. Vance and Representative Tim Burchett quickly rallied behind the president, echoing his criticisms of Musk. However, others within the party were more cautious. Representative Troy Nehls, for instance, called for a de-escalation of the conflict, recognizing the potential damage it could cause. Meanwhile, key leaders like House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune tried to downplay Musk's influence, insisting that his opposition would not stop the bill's passage. Most Republican senators tried to stay out of the line of fire, avoiding taking a clear side in the messy dispute. They were caught in a difficult position, reluctant to alienate either the leader of their party or the powerful billionaire who had previously been a major donor. Musk's threat to fund primary challengers against supporters of the bill hung over their heads, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and tension. The conflict exposed the deep fault lines within the party and raised questions about who truly held power and influence over its direction. The unified front that the party had tried to project after the 2024 election was now visibly cracking under the pressure of this high-profile fight. The confrontation also highlighted the complex and sometimes perilous relationship between big business and government. Musk's companies, particularly SpaceX, are not just private enterprises, they are critical partners for the U.S. government. SpaceX holds a near monopoly on transporting American astronauts to space and is essential for launching military satellites and fulfilling the ambitions of the Artemis moon missions. The threat to these contracts, and Musk's counter-threat to halt key operations, revealed a vulnerability at the intersection of national security, scientific progress, and corporate power. It showed that when a relationship between a president and a powerful CEO sours, the consequences can extend far beyond the stock market, potentially impacting national interests. Ultimately, the spectacular falling out between Elon Musk and Donald Trump serves as a powerful case study in the volatile mix of personality, politics, and power. What began as a strategic alliance ended in a bitter public feud that rattled financial markets, divided a major political party, and threatened critical national programs. It underscores a new reality where billionaire industrialists can wield influence comparable to that of political leaders, and where disagreements can play out in real time on social media with far-reaching consequences. The long-term impact of this showdown is still unfolding, but it has irrevocably altered the political and business landscape, leaving a fractured future in its wake.